Okay, lads. Moving on, we're going on to the duck, okay? Uh, smoked bacon and sage stuffing, and that's what we call a farce. You got a farce and a force meat. A force meat is when you go through a mincer. A farce is when you go through a food processor, okay? With this, we have such a good mincer inside. We have a very, very fine gauge. I'm not putting it through the blender. I personally don't like a farce. I prefer a force meat where there's a bit of crumble and a bit of bite, okay? So what we're basically going to do is bone from the back, come around the side, take the carcass out, stuff it, restitch it, and put it back into itself, okay? So I'm going to take these off because they're, as I said a while ago, I don't know why they ever had them. Again, I would think, if you try this a few times, probably with a chicken, because duck would be slightly dearer. Well, it would be a lot dearer. I think you could do very well with it. Okay, I'm going straight down. I'll take it out over there. I'll take it off. Okay. Straight down the backbone. Okay, there's his neck. So I'm going straight down the backbone. Okay. Oh, they're all fresh. There's a friend of mine got them at great expense to the Bull and Thistle, which you won't get paid for because you know it's a contribution. No, it's a very good friend of mine. She's a rep for US Foods, and she gets, in fairness to her, she goes over and above Call of Duty because I'm a pain in the ass to deal with. And I don't like using frozen stuff. I really do detest using it.
Will this work with the frozen duck?
The question is, will this work with the frozen duck?
I don't think you need to use a frozen duck because I think there are people out there that can get them. I don't see why you should have to. Why? It's beyond me why you should. If you use a frozen duck, don't do it. Okay. And I'm being straight up because there's so much moisture going to go into the stuffing. It'll be just soaking and wet. But there are people out there. They're like, you can go to markets like if you go into Nashville to the Nashville Farmers Market and that sort of stuff. You may not get it there, but you might talk to people that can. And fellas like him, Sugar Creek Farm, Bobby. He knows people that have poultry farms around the place, but you might only get it at certain times, There are people out there without a shadow of a doubt, lads, and I would honestly urge you, and I'm not being posh or facetious about it, stay away from frozen stuff. It is, why do you take all of this time to look after something and give it a good life, feed it, get veterinary care for it, and make sure that it is of its highest premium when you're slaughtering it, and then go freeze it? You might as well go down to Walmart and buy, because it's going to taste the same. You have ice crystals, and they blast freeze them, that's fine. But it's not the blast freezing is the problem, it's the thawing problem. The thawing time is the problem. Blast frozen, that would be blast frozen in 12 minutes. But that's going to take 24 hours to thaw out, And that's when the damage is done. Every nutrient that's inside in that is gone down the drain. So I would strongly urge you, if you don't want to do it with this, do it with a chicken, a fresh chicken. But there are people that, I'm coming across a load of people that are so upbeat about doing freshness and going back to the way it was, and there really is no need to accept frozen. And as I said to you, try it out with chickens first, because it is probably an arduous process at the start when you're trying to do it, But it is quite easy to do in the end, It's all about knowing where the knife has got to go to the bone. Okay? So in reverse to what we did with the turkey, okay, when we pulled the leg across that way, we got to go backwards now, okay? So you've got the collarbone, we call it, that holds on the wing bone. You have the leg bone. Okay, I'm just removing the leg. Now, I don't know if you can see me. I'll go this side and I'll see if I can do this for you better. Is that bad, Dave? Can you see this? Okay. Right, I'm going down along it, okay? And again, the golden rule with butchery or charcuterie or anything like that, keep the knife to the bone, because if you don't, you can't go back. Whereas if you keep it to the bone, it ain't going to go any further. Again, break it from the collarbone through the connective tissue. Now you're into the breastbone here, okay? You're into what you would slice for breastbone. So a duck's breast is a flat breast, okay? A duck and a goose is flat, chicken and turkey is peak, okay? So remember that. So I got to go flat in there, whereas with the turkey I had to go down there, okay? This is important with this, lads, because if you go the way you go with a turkey, you'll be eating morsels. And with this dish, you can, it's good because you can go back afterwards and what you have left, you can take it off. It's important, guys, you don't puncture the skin. If you puncture the skin, the dish isn't going to work, okay? Because you put the farce meat in there or force meat in there, and what's going to happen is just all going to leak out, okay? So we have it. That's your duck, okay? At this stage, we've literally turned them over this side, okay? Down against the bone. As I said to you, it's flat. You got to go straight across, okay? You got to go straight across here. All of this, whatever's left there, okay, guys? You just keep it aside and put it into the actual bird at the end of the exercise, okay? Wishbone. Okay, back to where we were with the turkey a while ago. Okay, the oyster, the whole lot. Well, what I'm going to do this time is just pull the wishbone out, okay? Get your wishbone out, and then get your wing bone out. Okay, reverse it. Start skinning this side, okay? And we're done. Okay? Stock. I'm going to rush on a bit now, guys, and as I said, we have, again, this will take, sorry, just get back to one point there. If you feel that you've left half the bird on the bone, just literally go around, trim it, put it in no matter where you have a space, because this will end up like a tureen, okay? But make roast, if you roast them, drain the fat off, make a stock unbelievably good, okay? Trim it, make it even, okay? And it becomes a little bit enterprising in the sense that you got to go stitching, okay? What I'm doing with the force meat is my pork. Dave, will you give me a bigger bowl, please? Pork. Again, I've sweated off the onion, okay? Macchia. My raw bacon. smoked, my sage, my salt and pepper, you got to season the inside of the bird as well. I'll take this one actually, if you don't mind.
Fresh, dry.
Fresh. Season the inside of the bird.
You said the bacon was smoked.
Smoked.
Is it cured bacon?
A cured bacon, yeah. Okay, so I have my onions in here. I've left it go cold. Okay, I have farce here that I made today. Okay, so basically, it's got its onions, it's got its sage, it's got its bacon, the whole lot. Okay? So what we're going to do is just stuff it. Keep measuring it as you're putting in the meat, what it's going to look like. Yeah. It's just an ordinary thread and needle, guys. Nothing fancy. Pardon? Sorry, I thought somebody said something. I'm hallucinating. You know, he's serious when he puts his glasses on. That's a sign of maturity, isn't it? Old age? Nah, that ain't gonna work. Not with me, anyway. Sorry. Okay, guys. Thanks, Dave. Play the stormer. Okay. I'm starting from the underneath of the legs here, and I'm going to start stitching here, and I'll be able to get some more farce in there, or force meat. You asked Joe to put in the turkey and the duck, and put in the gnocchis, or not the gnocchis, but the dumplings. Yeah, what time is it now? Jeez Louise. Please. Okay. Yeah, I wanted that. Okay. Here, Dave, I'll give you this actually. I'm just stitching up the back, lads, where we took the carcass out.
Does it matter the string you use?
I'm only using thread here, but I don't know how Dave threaded this, but it's absolutely fantastic. I can't. I'm on a roll. I can't stop. I just use thread, but what you have to do with duck is you have to wrap it in tinfoil, because what happens is when the fat hits the we'll say the back of the duck hits the tray, it tends to burst the stitching. So what I do is I wrap it in tinfoil or aluminum paper or aluminum foil, and that stops it. And you'll see we have three of them inside. And yeah, well, 2 seconds. Just let me get rid of this first, Dave. This is wrong cooked. I don't want to be mixing them. As I said again, guys, vitally important you probe during the cooking process. The last thing you want to do is give somebody salmonella, or I'll tell them what I want to. Okay, guys, stitching isn't great, but she isn't going anywhere.
Chef's recommending a resting time once it's cooked, like under a certain temperature and allow it to rest come up to a certain temperature?
Well, I'd normally rest maybe about 2 minutes per pound on a trivet, You know, trivet, cake rack on top of a tray, and you put the juices back into the sauce. Okay. You all know the last thing you do with a duck is you baste the duck. You do not need to baste the duck. If you're cooking a breasted duck, you put it into a dry, hot pan. You never put oil to a duck. You never cook a duck on its meat side. If you're cooking a duck, you put it in the fat side, give it a quick turnover. And when I say turnover, you're sealing it and you're putting it back. You're literally going in the fat and back and you cook it on its breast. Never, ever, ever cook a duck on its meat side because it just completely elasticates. Okay, so...
Same way with chicken.
No. Chicken is different. Chicken has moisture, it has fat content. Duck breast has actually no fat whatsoever. No fat. If you take the skin out of a duck, duck is much like venison. Chicken has marbling in that in its meat. Duck doesn't. Okay, so what you basically do is put him back in. Okay, and this is literally only to make sure he doesn't explode. Okay? In he goes. Don't season him now. Do not season the outside of him now, okay? Because if you season him now, when you put him into a roasting tray, okay, he's steaming in there, right? You season him when he comes out just to give him dry heat. And literally what you're doing is you're putting him in, you're taking him out for 10 minutes, you're putting on your salt, your crystal salt, and tupelo honey or whatever you want, and just brown it inside the oven for 10 minutes, okay? This is basically, and there's one long stuffing. Bring that out too, please. Yeah. Okay. Just take the thread out of it, okay? Get one angle, it'll come straight out, okay? It'll come with the whole way, okay? I'm just going to cut it, lads, and I'm going to move on. But basically, this is what you're looking at. You can carve all the way, okay? Okay?